Now, for the first time in 4 years, Tshwane has tabled a fully funded budget, but not without controversy. The coalition government, led by the ANC, ActionSA and the EFF, claims it has achieved this through cost-cutting measures, avoiding loans and prioritising financial stability. However, residents are already feeling the pinch as the budget introduces significant tariff hikes on electricity, water and a new city cleansing fee. The Democratic Alliance, which previously governed Tshwane, has fiercely opposed the budget. So, is this budget truly a victory for financial stability or just a politically motivated move that shifts the cost onto struggling residents? Now, joining me now is Abel Tau, is it? In a moment to have a conversation. Now, tariff hikes at a time of financial strain, residents are already struggling with the cost of living. Why should they be forced to pay more for services when government's failures have contributed to Tshwane's financial crisis? I suppose is our first question.
Thank you very much, Hugo.
Abel Tau, beg your pardon. Thanks, Abel.
Not a problem. Thank you very much, Hugo, for having us, and good afternoon to viewers at home. Look, I don't think the residents and everyone who has seen this budget is happy. You are correct to say it proposes significant tariff hikes as well, and at a time when really residents cannot afford to have those, especially like you correctly said, that it is as a result of the failure in governance and government. And what you also see from this budget, as much as we want to hail it as fully funded, and you look at a budget, there is a famous saying that says, don't tell me what you prioritize, but show me your budget and I can tell you. And this is exactly what you are seeing. You are seeing a budget that does not prioritize, the procurement and rollout of new infrastructure and services that will ensure that the city can deliver better services, but also be able to generate revenue much better so that it continues to be a city that is livable. I think Tshwane, other than being the highest, the most expensive city in South Africa, one of the most to live. These hikes are not going to do us any favor. But also, if you look at what this budget seeks to achieve, it really is not speaking to the kind of developmental issues that this city needs to move forward.
So let's talk about this city cleansing fee. I mean, what is that all about? And you talk about the most expensive city in South Africa. You've got a consumer who's incredibly strained as it is.
Yeah, look, Hugo, I really also feel that it's really unfortunate that you are going to introduce another tariff after you have also they've also hiked the levy on the refuse removal. Now, the city cleansing or the city cleaning tariff is supposed to do what exactly you are collecting that for. But what Tshwane does not tell the residents of the city is that they are unable to clean the city as they're supposed to, because the money that is collected for purpose is not necessarily ring-fenced for that purpose, but it then gets to be redirected to other priorities. So it is pulled together in one pool. And this is one of the things that we have always proposed that should be corrected, that when you are receiving money for landfill from the residents, then that money needs to be ring-fenced and invested in exactly that, making sure that the city is clean. But you then realize that that money goes into the whole pot and it gets to be used for other things like paying off Eskom debt, which has ballooned, and because again you have a situation where the city does not prioritize the maintenance of the infrastructure. We've got huge electricity losses from illegal connection, but also because of the lack of upkeep and maintenance, it has found us into a space where we are not doing what we're supposed to do. Then money goes into these worthless or these wasteful avenues, and then you are forced to do what they currently are doing. This government of the ANC, EFF, and ActionSA basically wants to be a government of social media, and we are watching a reality show as people of Tshwane. I mean, you don't see Jordan Hill Lewis flying through windows in Cape Town, but when you land in Cape Town, you realize that this city works. You see that because you can see the city is clean. You can see that the street lights are burning. You can see that there are traffic officers who are actually controlling the flow of traffic. And you can see that they have vehicles to travel in. There's highway patrol. And all these things are the things that make for better services, that people then are encouraged to pay for rates and taxes because their city actually works. And that's what you don't see in the most expensive city to live in, which is absurd. And it's going to be even more expensive. But what that does is that it also now is going to discourage investors in the city, because people who invest in a city, they want to ensure that it is livable. And therefore, one of the critical decisions that investors would have to look into is the safety of the kind of critical skill they need to bring if they have to bring investment into a city, and the kind of services that they will be getting. So this budget is not talking to a larger problem that we are having as people of Tshwane. And it is very, very unfortunate, which is why I genuinely believe that we really need to go out there and conscientize the residents of Tshwane that indeed they are living with people who are out of ideas as to how they can better their lives and serve them. And 2026 cannot come sooner. I think it is about time that this new government is ushered in Tshwane, men and women who would know what they're doing and are actually going to work hard to make sure that they turn the city around, make tough decisions, but decisions that are going to have a real impact. I saw something like this budget seeks to recruit 200 Metro Police officers, which is literally playing to the gallery given the safety issues that we are having in the city. I mean, you do that while the current contingent of Metro Police is very unhappy. 2-3 weeks ago, the Metro Police officers were picketing at Metro Police headquarters in Tshwane, citing a number of challenges. The morale of the officers is at an all-time low. I mean, the department doesn't even have vehicles. They get dropped off like school kids in little corners every now and then to basically do fundraising for the city. So the city is in shambles, and this budget does not seek to look at critical issues. You would be thinking that you would prioritize making sure that tools of trade are made available to the people who must deliver the services to the residents of Tshwane, which is not the case according to this budget.
Finally, and very quickly, Abel, we know that the people of Tshwane are a people that have offered resistance, where they feel that they're not getting the level of service delivery that they should get. You've talked about informing the people of Tshwane of what it is that they're having to deal with, and as far as the priorities are concerned. Do you expect the people of Tshwane to offer some resistance to this budget?
I missed.
Abel, are you there? Can you hear me?
I think we lost connection a bit, but you are back now.
All right, very, very quickly, our final question is you've talked about speaking or showing the people of Tshwane that this is what they're faced up against and that they appear not to be a priority to those that are leading the city. What sort of reaction do you expect to get from the people of Tshwane? Do you expect them to approve this budget? Do you expect them to stand up against it?
Hugo, I don't think the residents of Tshwane will receive this budget well. I think you are likely going to see a number of protests in the different places. What we need to do as Umkhonto weSizwe is to go out there and basically conscientize our people to say they need to obviously tighten the belt. They need to stand up, because we cannot continue to have decisions made on our behalf that are not for us as a people. But over and above that, I think as Umkhonto weSizwe, through our structures, we should be able to engage communities meaningfully to really show them where the gaps are. and make sure that they are ready come 2026. We respect the rule of law as a party, and we believe that this democracy needs to be respected. And therefore, what they have now is what they have chosen. But given the fact that now they do have a real alternative in Umkhonto weSizwe, we want to make sure that our people then get to appreciate that fact that come 2026, they have an opportunity to really break completely cleanly from the current status quo that has not served them over the past years.
Abel Tau, MK, provincial spokesperson, speaking to us around that first time in 4 years fully funded budget, and he suggests that the people of Tshwane are likely to offer some resistance. Abel, thanks for your time.